This nuclear variant is going to be on the KBAR Bunker Buster. This is the nuclear variant of the KBAR. I'm using the Igloo Buster in this gameplay, but it's the same thing. This is just a variant that they gave out around Christmas time, and it has like a festive camo, and then it makes a noise when you walk. This weapon has the nuclear perk, so a 25-player kill streak will earn a deatomizer strike, and then it also has an increased mag size up to 43 rounds instead of 36. It's a very nice second perk. I like this a lot. It's much better than some other weapons' second perk. And it will be 65 if you extended mags, but I think 43 is just fine. 65 is a lot of ammo though, so if you do want to opt into using extended mags, I definitely understand it. 65 rounds with the best gun in the game it's like a no-brainer. The KBAR is one of my favorite weapons to use in this game, if not my favorite, so I'm very comfortable using it, and I'm very confident in my ability to win gunfights with this weapon, especially if it's within the 4-hit kill range. And I'm going to start this video out a little different than normally I do with the nuclear variants. Generally I like to give out the strengths of the weapon and then explain how I played. But I'm going to start off with how I played and the key takeaways that you could learn from this video and watching the gameplay and what I think you should take from it. The key takeaway with this is I was playing very smart, even though this is a weapon that I'm very confident in winning gunfights with. I was still taking all the gunfights on my terms, limiting my exposure, and just trying to play as safe as possible. If you want to go on a 25 kill streak, playing as safe as possible is probably the way to do it. It's not as flashy as some other ways, just because I'm trying to limit my exposure as much as possible. It'd be much more flashy if I was running in there and just trying to win as much gunfights as I could. But I think this is the most consistent way to play, especially with how my teammates were playing in this game. In this game, my teammates were playing much slower and at a pace that I don't like playing. I would have liked to play more aggressive in this gameplay, but my team was playing very slow. So if I was going to play aggressive with their pace, I would just be caught out alone a lot and in situations where I'm outgunned and outmatched and probably likely to get flanked. So instead I slowed down and played at the pace of the game, which is better. You can't force the game to play around your pace if you want to go on a really high kill streak. It's just an unlikely recipe for success. So if you are in a game like this that's just playing out very slow for some reason, you want to slow down your own pace. And I actually use this to my advantage because I often position myself in a cushion of teammates to where I'm very unlikely to get flanked. You'll see on the radar, if you pay attention to the radar in this game, I think I did a very good job of that. Just paying attention to that and putting myself in an area where I can't get flanked. If I have two teammates behind me, I don't have to worry about that, so I can divert more attention to my sides and my front. And that's how you want to play if your teammates are playing slow and you can get away with this. Generally this isn't going to work out because people play much faster, but in some games people like to play slow like this, and this is just what happened to happen in this game. Like I said, this isn't my ideal way of playing, but it's just what I got forced into in this game. So those are the key takeaways from this game. Play smart and limit your exposure. Try to get as many fights on your terms as you can and play at the pace of your team and the game overall. If you're playing too slow compared to the game, spawn's likely to flip on you. You're going to get screwed over because of that in some way probably. And if you're playing too fast, you're likely to get caught out alone, like I said. So you have to find a natural pace within the game that fits and then play around that and try to fit your strengths into that as much as you can. The key thing I do with this match is just take fights that are on my terms as much as possible. I'm not taking any dumb fights, even though I probably could get away with taking some of the fights. I'm just trying to limit my risks as much as possible so that I come out on top. If you're taking very little risks, you're more likely to go on the 25 kill streak, and that's how I like to do it, limiting risks as much as possible. You'll see at one point in this game I'm running away from a scarab streak, and I probably could have just shot it outright, but I routed it and made it in the most safe way possible for me to shoot it. I made it to where I had to come through a doorway to fight me, and that's made it to where it's very easy for me to shoot it. I probably could have just shot it out in the open, but instead I took the safe play and ran away from it. I was in no rush to get this nuke. I think my team was at 50 kills or something when I called it in. So I had all the time in the world to get this nuke. It was just on me to stay alive and make smart decisions as much as possible, and that's what I did. Now getting into the stats of this weapon, the KBAR is a very dominant weapon within its 4-shot kill range, and even its 5-shot kill range to a bit, but once you get out past it, there's a lot of guns that can outgun it. I'm going to be using silencer in this gameplay, and that'll make the 4-shot kill range 14.86 meters. This is very close to 15, and the base 4-hit kill range is actually 19.8, so you aren't losing much range on the 4-hit kill range, losing about 4 meters or so. That's not absurd. It's definitely worth the silencer in my opinion, especially if you want to go on a nuke. If I wasn't going for a nuke, I probably wouldn't use the silencer, but for the nuke streak, 25 kills, you want to stay off the minimap as much as possible. With silencer, the 5-hit kill range is 24.7 meters, and that is very doable. Within the weapon's range, you can definitely get kills within the 5-hit kill range just because of how fast this weapon fires. One extra bullet isn't that drastic on the time to kill, and past 24.7 meters, it'll be a 6-hit kill from that onward. Like I said, one bullet added isn't that big of a deal for the time to kill of this weapon, but in the 6-hit range, there probably are some weapons that are going to outperform you, so I rarely try to take fights that are outside of the 5-hit kill range, and in general, I try to limit my fights to the 4-hit kill range as much as possible because that's where this weapon is at its best, and I think it's very easy to limit my fights to that range, and that's very what I do in this gameplay most is I limit my gunfights to the 4-hit kill range. The fire rate of this weapon is 731, and that's very good. It's performs very well up close, and it's not too high that it's uncontrollable at range. The recoil of this weapon is very stable, especially with foregrip, which is what I'm going to be using. So in general, this gun is very good at close to medium range, and even longer ranges if you have a good aim and you're not playing against other things that can fight you at longer ranges. But in general, I would limit my fights to the 4-hit kill range. The iron sights are very usable, but I like to use Elo sight just to make it as easy as possible for me to get kills. And my loadout for this nuke was the Elo sight with a blue dot, quick draw stock, grip, silencer, ghost, and scavenger. I think all those are pretty self-explanatory. Like quick draw stock, grip help me win more gunfights and help me be a harder target to hit. Elo sight just makes it easier for me to aim, and then silencer and ghost are keeping me off the minimap, and then scavenger allows me to maintain ammo throughout this streak. And I was using the Merc with the man-at-arms and reactive armor. Using man-at-arms and scavenger just so I never have to worry about ammo at all. I know some people like to use infusion, and you can do that if you want, but for some reason I just have issues picking up scavenger bags in this game, so I use both just so I never have to be concerned with ammo at all. And then reactive armor is a great payload, especially when going on a nuke, because if you ever do get in a bad situation that you weren't prepared for, you can just pop the armor and then come out on top. And it actually does happen to me in this game. There's a fight that takes place in the underpass area where I have to fight like 3 people at once, and I just pop the armor and then I get those kills easily. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you learned something useful. Like I said, the key takeaways are that when going on a nuke, you just want to play as safe as possible and limit your fights to your gun's ideal range as much as possible. Play at the pace of the game. I think this game is a very clear example of that, because in general this is a pace that I don't like to play at. I generally like to play much faster, but the game just kind of forced me to play like this, and I made the best out of the situation and ended up getting a nuke. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more videos.